Hi everyone, it's Carol from Lily Rose Blue, and I have Astrid and Arnold. I have Amber and the triplets. Oops, hang on, triplets. We have, this would be Asa, this is Adam, and that is Angel. I am filming this on Friday, May 10th. So welcome. And before I forget, I want to say a huge happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers, grandmothers, and aunts. And, people who serve as a surrogate for mothers, whether it's official or not, by blood or not. Bless you all. It's not an easy job, but it is also one of the most rewarding things that you could ever do. So happy Mother's Day to you. I am also, before I forget, this is a hashtag show and tell hosted by Angela the Traveling Crafter, as well as a hashtag thrifty finds or hashtag thrifted treasures, which is hosted by Dale at Not Too Shabby Chic. I did well for a while remembering to talk about Dale, and then I fell off the ledge. Now I'm back, hopefully. Now I'm back. You guys know my story. Here it comes again. I had to go to Aldi. So what happened? Yes, I went to Goodwill. Funny little sidebar story about Aldi. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. A lot of them are British mysteries. I watch a lot of British, Australian, New Zealand TV as well. A little bit of Scandinavian TV, but usually that ends up needing to be subtitled. And it depends on what I'm doing, right? If I just want to sit and veg and can pay attention, I might watch that. If I have the TV on when I'm doing something else, which is usually the case, then that makes it a little tougher. But I was listening to a story that is set in Wales, and they were talking about going to Aldi. Yes. You hear about Tesco, which is kind of, it seems, without knowing a ton, it seems like that's probably a pretty big chain. Excuse me. In the UK and in other countries. But yeah, they talked about Aldi in this story set in Wales. I was like, oh my goodness. So I picked up a couple of things, and I'm going to be full confession here. And I swear my brain is not functioning totally right lately, and I think I know why. Besides aging, there's that, but I am just not sleeping, and when you don't sleep, 1 and 1 does not add up to 2. Not very well, anyway. So I think I want to blame that for some of this. But I saw these antique or vintage boxes, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting those. And I just grabbed them and didn't really read. Well, and let me see which one's which here. Yeah. What this is, play bridge, learn alone. Auto bridge, play yourself bridge game. Did I pay any attention? Look at this. Isn't this cool? I'm sorry. Oh. Sorry, I knew there was another one coming. I think this must have a little vintage smell to it. Oh, this one's missing one of its black things. That's not so good. I don't know anything about bridge, but this is super cool. And there's some more pads, you know, that you could play with it. So, bridge is something I have kind of thought maybe I wanted to learn more about. So we'll see. So this is version 1 of this. This is version 2, and this is even more substantial, like really much more substantial. Isn't that really kind of cool? Now, I did look these up before. Oh, look. This was purchased in 12/8/06 with a 3 at a 20% discount. They paid $2.52 for this. So that's a cool piece of ephemera right there and then. This has a huge book about it. Oh my gosh, what else is in here? See, I purposefully didn't open this until I was, until I was on the camera with you. Oh my, this is somebody's notes. I can't, there we go. Rules for opening bidders, opening bid of one in a suit. Oh my gosh, there's even a sample to avoid a reverse. Okay, oh my gosh. This is super cool, you guys. That is a fun find. Now, what I will tell you, and like I said, look at this one compared to this one. They're both nice. You cannot feel the weight. I promise you this is at least twice, if not 3 times heavier than this one. This one sells for eBay for about $7, and this one is about $14. My thinking, especially since this one is missing, one of these is that I will source this for the box, for the paper, the rule book, things like that. This would go perfectly with the stuff that I purchased and or was gifted by Angela the Traveling Crafter, right? Then moving on, this is a pattern. It's not super exciting, right? I looked at the date and it was 80 something. There was a lady there trying to help me read this that was probably 90 years old. She was the sweetest lady, and her daughter too. They were great people. Oh, where did I find it? I found it someplace. Or we found it someplace. 83, maybe? Anyway, 50 cents. You know, patterns anymore are getting to be $2, $3, $5 a piece, right? So I decided for 50 cents I would get it. I thought it looked a little vintage, right? And somewhere I did find it was 1980 something. And, you know, I'll just cut out these people and use that, you know, in a journal. So that was a find. Then I will show you, I got this huge doily, huge doilies. There are, doesn't say how many. It's not a ton in here. We'll just open it. The lady, the daughter and lady that I ended up kind of shopping with, she got some doilies that had a really cool pattern. I wished I would have seen those before she did. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but they were really cool. So it looks to me like there's about 3 here. So I paid 33 cents a piece, essentially. Look at me do math. That's a miracle, you guys. So yeah, those are fun. I don't know if I'm going to leave them in there or not. And then I found 2 books, children's books. Now, again, this was Goodwill. So hardbacks. Actually, I think she only charged me 99 cents for these. So this is Little Peter Cottontail by Thornton W. Burgess. This is a wonder book as opposed to a golden book. Pictures by Phoebe Erickson. So Shauna Hanson got this in 1983. So this is 41 years old, in theory, as far as when it was given. This is the 1981 printing, the original copyright being 1956. The ISBN is 08241 0641-5. And you guys know this story. This illustration to me looks a little different than what I was used to seeing, but still adorable. And yeah, so I got it. Why not? Why not? Oh, look at that cow. That cow is gorgeous. So that reminds me. I think I mentioned on a previous video that one of my granddaughters and Mr. Milo the Wonder Dog, who was also here today for Grandma Camp, got me hooked on Dr. Pol, the veterinarian. It's a series on Disney Plus, I believe. So I've been kind of watching that and have an even greater appreciation and concern. It goes both ways for livestock, cows, pigs, sheep, those kinds of horses, those kinds of things. They do small animal as well as large animal. And I started when my granddaughter and I were watching last weekend. She was watching the current season. I went back to the beginning, which I believe goes back to 2011. I could be wrong. I'll have to verify that. But yeah, it can be sad at times. It can be joyous at times. Interesting family. Yeah, just cool. Before I show you my last thing, I'm going to tell you another story. I was going to joke, and whether you want to listen or not, this weekend is one of those weekends that the locals lovingly call a shelter-in-place weekend. Has nothing to do with weather. Has everything to do with this is graduation weekend at the University of Iowa. It starts on Thursday and goes through Sunday, or I could be, it kind of changes year to year. I don't know if this year there's actually anything on Sunday per se, but essentially it goes through Sunday because, people, there's people graduating and families coming from a long way away. This is not a weekend that you want to be out driving because people don't know where they're at, what they're doing. It's a little dangerous. The restaurants are packed full. It's a shelter-in-place weekend. And wouldn't you know, sometimes I just wonder what people are thinking when they schedule. It is also the Big Ten softball tournament here, the same weekend as University of Iowa graduation. Now, this is a great boon. This is economic development at its best. And, a lot of our restaurants and businesses depend on the traffic, so to speak, from the University of Iowa. But oh my gosh, if you're local, you don't want to be on the road, you don't want to be out in a restaurant, you don't want to be in the grocery store or anywhere if you can help it. And of course, the third thing is it's Mother's Day weekend too. Yeah, So there you go. So that is my shelter in story discussion. The other fall graduation is usually mid-December. It's not as big. It's usually 1 or 2 days. And, there's a little bit of a crowd, but not anything like spring graduation. If you're asking what's the other weekend that you shelter in place, that's when all the kids are moving in to their apartments, which is August 1st, or the dorms, which is a couple weeks later. Yeah, that's another shelter in place time. Now, football, 70,000 people in the stadium. Here's the thing. You can do things when the game is going on. You just don't want to try to get anywhere before the game or after the game. During the game, you can go anywhere and have the place to yourself. Yeah, so football, you have to plan, but it's not as impactful as a weekend like this weekend. And I'm sure there are still some proms going on too. Anyway, long-winded story. Maybe you could care less about my story. This is just life in a university town. We love living here. We've been here 40-some years now. A couple weekends a year, we can deal. We can deal. You just need to plan ahead. And here's my last thing to show you. Look at, you know me, I like deer. Walt Disney's Bambi Gets Lost. Look at the end pages. Ugh, gorgeous, gorgeous. And of course you've got Thumper and, is this Flower? I may not be getting that right. I may not be getting, see my brain. So this is, original copyright was 1941, renewed 1972. I don't know what the actual copyright is for this. This is ISBN 0394-92520-3. So you guys know the Bambi story. This is just beautiful. Beautiful. Look, this just delights me to no end. This right there. This is, I love it all. Love it all. Yes, Flower. Flower is the skunk's name. Look at the foxes, the possums, bees, owls, raccoons, loons, mice, bobolinks, doodlebugs, porcupines. One thing, and we don't really have porcupines here. We don't. However, where Dr. Poldus filmed, which is in Michigan, in almost every episode, they're bringing in a dog to get porcupine quills taken out of the dogs. I can't imagine the poor puppies, what that must be like. Oh, look, Mr. Mole. What's the other friend? I've got the little figurines. I can't think of the other friend. Look at that. Oh, it's so cute, you guys. Look at that page. Oh, and I also want to point out to you, look, it is sewn and the thread is still, isn't that? So they did that. And then they did that and that. Oh, that's just the page. Yeah. So they did 4 sections to sew this book. The otter, You know I love otters. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, look at the baby Bambi. So I don't think this is a might. This will be my plan. I will try to clean up this cover a little bit, and then I am going to make a journal, probably a ringed journal out of this book. Or if you haven't watched it, I would recommend Angela the Traveling Crafter. I think it was recent. Once in a great while, I think I'm watching a current video, not just of Angela's, but of anybody's. And then I realized it was months old. But I believe it was recently. Angela did a video about different ways to bind your journals. There's a couple that I absolutely want to try. What I'm thinking here is that maybe this is where you take this book apart and then give it a whole new spine. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But I would encourage you to watch Angela's video. I'm sorry, it just came to mind. I don't know what it's titled. I watched it in the last week. Does that mean it was posted this week? Oh, I don't know. I'm behind. I'm behind, guys. So I'm not sure. But anyway, 5 or 6 different ways to bind journals that I think she meant it to be for people who, well, she means it for everybody. But I think it was geared towards people new to junk journaling. But I saved that video because I need to go back and refer to it too. Anyway, here is my haul so I did this haul yesterday, May 9th. I'm filming on May 10th, and I'll probably post this on May 11th. You guys, hit like, hit subscribe, comment. I appreciate any or all of those things that you could do for me. It does make a difference. Thank you so very, very, very much for watching. If you have already subscribed to my channel or you've been a viewer, thank you for coming back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you all being here. And here is I have a gimmick in the beginning and a gimmick at the end. In the beginning, it's showing you my mascots, like Amber here. At the end, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I want you to have some fun. I want you to take care and to be safe. And last but certainly not least, guys, God bless. Good night.